Sioux Empire Podcast 133, Who's the Boss, with Nathan Hults.
A pathless wilderness, wild, rugged, that was South Dakota. A hardy frontier, far from the paths of civilization.
Why die on Mars when you can live in South Dakota?
Where fortune beckoned with a glittering smile.
I was hauling pigs on the interstate. You were in a red car having a problem with your shirt.
And life hung on the quickness of a trigger finger.
Podcast Palooza. I thought you were going to say something.
The Sioux Empire Podcast.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another fantastic episode of the Sioux Empire Podcast. This is the Sioux Empire Podcast, the quirky but harmless podcast that's all about Sioux Empire news, comedy, music, and culture. I am your host, Robert Mailing, and joining me as always is co-host Seth Glover.
If you don't see white snow on the ground where you are, count yourself lucky.
Indeed. Also joining us today is someone that podcast listeners may be familiar with, our substitute host here, filling in for Asha the cheese person who, boy, ever since she got married, she total ghost on this. It's just like she found a bigger, better project in her life and she just voted it in. I see how it is, choosing your life partner, spouse, over a podcast you record once every 2 weeks.
It's really about priorities. And
yeah. And as soon as she gets...
Whoa. Dude, and doing the spit takes now. Wow.
She's filling in for Natasha on the spit takes.
That was amazing.
That was Jenny Mack.
That's number 2 spit take for the Sioux Empire podcast.
We assume she'll be back. And then also joining us is comedian and manager-type overlord person of Boss's Comedy Club here in Sioux Falls.
We could say co-owner.
Co-owner? Yeah. Cool. I just make up titles for people. The other day, I'm pretty sure I called Matthew Paulson the supreme overlord of his company. This is Nathan Hults.
It was so funny, I should have never made eye contact. I was doing well. My pop was frozen and foaming over, and I was doing well. And then I made eye contact, and I'm just like...
That was awesome. Hey, what I liked about that spit take, it wasn't on my soundboard and my laptop like last time.
Yeah.
Or the $800 needler that was 3D printed that we were showing off and like, wow, this is so expensive. I could never afford it, but just set it on my desk for me. Yeah.
I didn't know I had those options.
No, that was a while back. That's been 2 years now since that happened, but we never shut up about it.
Well,
it was kind of a life experience for us all.
When somebody does a spit take on a needler.
Yeah, that is kind of a unique event, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that the gun from Halo?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
The Futurescape 3D printing was the guest on that episode.
Sure.
So we brought in a bunch of really cool, like, movie prop type stuff that he'd 3D printed and then wired up with LEDs, so it looked badass. Yeah. And it was on its own, like, display rack thing, and we're like, What does that cost? It was like $800. It was like, wow, I'd love to have that in the studio, but no way I can afford it. And then Natasha, it was some joke
she
about...
She wanted a flux capacitor, and she was like, how much for the flux capacitor? And she was like, free?
And
he didn't make it for free, but she said free. I heard her.
Yeah. Anyway, enough rehashing an episode from 2 years ago. Let's get to some headlines. Chopper 5.
You have a chopper too?
We're working on it.
That intro kind of makes me feel like I need to be on Molly. Just with glow sticks and...
I mean, if the song, makes you feel that way, I'm not so sure that something else might not.
We're not saying,
and that's all right.
Can't.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, enjoy that.
We don't judge that,
I can't even handle a very cold can of Coke. I will just stay right here.
The fizzle is too extreme. The carbonation goes straight to my head.
Yeah, you don't want to see somebody on too much fizz,
Oh, man. So, our first story is all about, in the era of terrorism and cybersecurity and, high-stakes George Clooney heists and whatnot, there's a major like crime, high stakes crime thing going on here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. So that's that is our very appropriate music to talk about today's first story. The local Burger Kings here in Sioux Falls have all decided that they are no longer accepting bills larger than $20 cash because of the proliferation of counterfeit bills.
Sioux Empire
Question.
investigates.
What if I have a $40 order, which I've been known to do at Burger King?
Well, no
You
shit.
can't use your $40 bill, sir.
I can't. See, that's part of the reason we're talking about this story. As a fat guy, I'm very concerned because I can't eat at Burger King for less than $20. So I'm really worried because, like, with my like bag of like 4 special order Whoppers with like extra bacon, you know, what if I got a 50 and it's like a $30 like meal?
So basically, Robert, what you're saying is when you want it your way, you want it expensive.
I want it my way. Goddamn it!
And how am I? If they're not going to accept, I'm not going to make fake $20 bills. What a waste of time.
Yeah, I know.
So how am I supposed to pay for any of this?
This is like the ultimate like poverty rate. It was like, you know, I understand like $100. It's like internationally like concerned about those being counterfeit, but these guys are saying that they get counterfeit 20s and counterfeit 50s, and I'm just like, who is making that shit? You know,
And why don't I know how to make that shit?
yeah,
I can tell you how.
I can tell you, I worked at a couple restaurants before and in different places, and counterfeit's a big deal because like what they'll do is they'll put the 120 on top, and then the rest of the fake bills under.
And they'll hit you when you're busy and your clerk is a teenager who's afraid of getting yelled at for not going fast enough and doesn't know how to make change in their head anyway.
And I wondered that because they talked about like, well, the employees, their employees, because they're moving so fast, will you take about anything? And I'm just like, so can I take Monopoly money to Burger King?
Yeah.
It's
Maybe.
been,
if it's noon, you're saying like noon rush.
It's that after school kids, you know, that,
You know.
and you're working, shut up.
I'm sorry. I'm Minnesotan, so I catch it
I
every
know.
time.
And then I think about you on the lake with your balls just slapping the water.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, no one else knows what that story is, apparently.
No, that would be an inside story.
You'd have to come to my show 25th and 26th if possible.
Absolutely. Come just for that joke.
Come hear the balls on the water.
I hope you plan to have that as part of your set, because now you have
I
to.
don't know, but that's going to be my ringtone for next week. It's me singing balls on the water.
I will say this, though. Whether it's Burger King or McDonald Land or whatever store you go to, if your clerk says, I can't take that money from you, do not be a dick to the clerk. No one is telling... They're poor like the rest of us. They wish they had fake 50s, too.
You want to know?
Do not be a dick to the clerk.
You want to know a magic test to tell if someone is like a complete monster? See how they treat dogs, and see how they treat low-level service employees.
Yes.
And that will tell you what's in their heart, no matter how, like, fake and kind they are on the outside.
Right.
That'll really tell you, like, who they are as a person, as, like, who they'll treat
when
someone
the
they feel like they have
apocalypse
total
comes,
authority
that
over.
will be the dividing factor.
Yes. And it will come, because soon Megakota will come. I don't know what he's talking about. I didn't hit any button for that.
Why wasn't this bottle sealed? That's weird. It's weird just have reusing bottles of what? Oh.
As the female in the room, I was smart enough not to take a drink offered by anyone. I brought my own, and it was closed.
That's a good idea.
It didn't go well for
But
me.
now you just leave it unintended in
I
another
know.
room.
I
Male privilege. We can just drink drinks.
know. Amanda will keep an eye on it, I'm sure.
Yeah, we just drink like this thing. I didn't put this thing of water on my desk. I didn't put it here, but I'm drinking it.
I always love people who are like, oh, they're gonna. I mean, as a male, I can't speak to the female experience, but I always love the like they're gonna slip drugs in your food and in your. When I'm like, when I was doing drugs, that sounded awesome. What?
When that family got that steak from Walmart that had acid in it, I was like, what the fuck?
What the hell is that in?
The last thing that I got from the Walmart steak was some fucking food poisoning. No, but yeah, in California, there's.
I mean, it's like
I don't know. Maybe it was a family.
Most people won't do that because they're expensive. No one's just giving out like $40.
There had to be a dude at that meat locker that was gonna have some fun, and then later found some acid in his wallet.
There's got to be like an accident. I can see accidents happening, but like there's not.
When I'm out, as far as I don't even want to touch on being a girl and worrying about things being in your drink, but drugs being. I don't worry about drugs being in my food. I worry about hair that's not mine.
Yeah.
Like finding a hair in my food.
I don't like my own hair in my food. Yeah.
So, me and my fiance recently went to Denver for New Year's, and on the way back, we stopped at this very, it was more expensive than any place we ate at in Denver, but it was in Rapid City. I wish I could remember the freaking name because it was terrible. It was overpriced, and my fiance found a hair. First, it was just raw, undercooked.
Were you eating human meat?
No, she had pigeon.
It's like that episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
No, pheasant. I'm sorry, she had pheasant, and they served it super raw. And she sent it back, and then when she got it back, it had a hair in it, she found a hair in it.
Pheasants do not have hair in nature; they have feathers.
Good point.
I've never sent food back at a restaurant before because I just kind of assume that that's just asking for retaliation. So usually what I'll do is just it's great, and then never go to that restaurant again, and then brutally retaliate on Yelp.
Good.
That's how I live.
Good.
If I'm sending food back, I'm not eating more food.
You know where I've never, in the entirety of Megakota, on either side of the Megakota north or south half, that I've never had hair in my food?
Congratulations.
Glasses. Yeah, sweet.
Oh.
Promo. Plug.
Hey, this is Boss's Pizza. We're open till 3 a.m. No hair.
No hair.
It's true. We only hire bald guys. Or women.
It's been a few years.
You should see the kitchen.
Now,
it looks like the extras from Powder. It's just
everyone's beautiful and hairless, and yeah.
I was a tester every weekend, sometimes twice, for a good amount of time there. I'm a reformed bachelor now, so don't eat so much. But there's no hair in it ever. It was always good. Every kind. It was great. It was goddamn great. Till 3 a.m.
Open until 3 a.m.
4 a.m. on the weekend.
4 a.m.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's right.
Good Lord. God, that takes me... God, I can't even make it to 8:30 p.m. anymore. This is off topic, but I'm just trying to imagine my college days when I'd be up at 4:30 a.m. eating pizza and chugging water so I didn't die from the alcohol poisoning that I inflicted on myself the previous 6 hours. So
if we're going to have a Megakota, then we're going to have some more, 24-hour stuff and have some big time,
Well, that's what I'm saying. Okay, here's my deal. Why I'm bringing up this story about merging the Dakotas into one Megakota, or as I call it, Mecha Dakota, because I want it to sound like our state's name. I want to live in a state where our name makes it sound like we fight fucking kaiju, like we're rocket fisting Godzilla. Wait, fist.
I guess.
Ball slapping on the water. Oh wait, that's Land of 10,000 Lakes.
I think
intentional.
What did you say? I think that's. I'd like that to be an album. I believe that Mega Fisting
Kaijus.
Is that the album name or the band name?
No, I think it's the album name.
Okay.
'Cause I feel like it's a story arc within. It's like a metal opera.
It's Power Fisting Kaijus by Mega Dakota.
Whatever you do, don't get lost in a mosh pit at the show.
Anymore?
Yeah, the show's gone downhill, Jenny. I'm sorry. But anyway, here's my deal. North Dakota can come along on this whole Dakota merger thing.
That's right. You can come along. We're inviting you, I guess.
You're invited, But you got to do two things. You got to bring legalized marijuana in, that influence, because that's never going to happen with our fucking legislature. And two, bring us some of that sweet, sweet oil money. Bring those two things, and you're on the team.
Here's why I think it is a great idea to do. A lot of times people are saying they don't want to add states because they don't want to ruin the flag.
Yeah.
Right? We go Megakota, Puerto Rico, 50th state.
Nice. I like
Puerto Rico, a 50th state. I think that's a natural progression. If we're gonna start consolidating.
And then next, West Virginia and Virginia, and then we can bring in Samoan Islands.
There you go.
Or U.S. Virgin Islands.
Nah.
Yeah, more virgins.
But seriously, I believe this joke is a petition. I believe this petition is a joke. I believe that. That was a real good slip.
I feel like this poem is actually a limerick.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I think it's a joke that a lot of people are excited about. I mean, what 20?
Actually, only 2,000.
More people.
I thought it was a bigger thing.
More people were involved in trying to imaginary merge our state with North Dakota than probably were involved in voting for a last governor election.
No, I can confirm significantly more people voted, but it feels like it though, doesn't it?
Yeah, this is a bigger deal than Worthington lands National Windsurfing Championship for a third time.
Ooh.
That's such a weird thing that Worthington, Minnesota is famous for a huge windsurfing championship.
It's definitely weird, yeah.
And random.
What do you know about windsurfing? I don't know anything. You're from the Land Lakes, right?
Yeah. Well, we do windsurf. All of us, every single one.
Everyone.
If you lived in Minnesota, it's in gym curriculum. You know?
Yeah, how do you guys balance that? Windsurfing, hockey, lumberjacking. You guys got a lot of stuff you got to learn.
Well,
to be Minnesotan.
The main thing about being Minnesotan is we're better than everyone. We're absolutely better than.
They are the nicest.
Everyone. I mean, we're just better. We're just better.
Just gosh darn.
And humble. Don't forget how humble Minnesotans are.
Oh God, just the humblest. I was stuck in a Minnesota standoff the other day.
Ooh.
Have you ever heard of
Minnesota nice?
Have you ever heard of Minnesota standoff?
Nope.
No, it's where someone's leaving, you're trying to enter, but you both try to hold the doors open for each other.
I do that all the time.
Right? Just no, you go. No, you go. And then the standoff ends when you both decide not to hold the door for each other. Right? And then no, you go. That's what.
And then you try and keep me through together.
Yeah.
Oh, Minnesota.
We're not gonna let them into Megakota.
No, of course not.
They wouldn't want to.
Yeah, they've got a lot of better things. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie.
I did read somewhere. I think South Dakota has more lakes.
Yeah.
Well, we just aren't marketing that side of it.
But technically,
we have mountains with faces.
Our definition of a lake, both in Minnesota and South Dakota, my brother's always just like, yeah, Minnesota's the land of 10,000 lakes, but they're all like the size of a dugout, like what we'd call a slough in South Dakota, which there's one of those on like every quarter section in South Dakota.
No, there's like it's like an acre at least for it to be counted as a lake.
No, there is actually no distinguishable factors between a lake and a pond, other than somebody says that's a lake or that's a pond.
We need to get the legal department on the phone and like
recently.
This. Okay.
There is no actual, at least what I could find in the definition of a lake.
Okay, sure. Okay, this leads
to
why were you researching that?
The Minnesota.
Well, I look at a lot of maps because it's for my job, and so like sometimes you come across these fucking bodies of water that you're like, why is that called a lake, and why is that not? Sure. And so then you look up that.
I have Loch Mac in my yard. We call that a lake.
I'm pretty sure Minnesota. I've also done the research on this, but I haven't done drugs in a while. So yeah,
you're not thinking clearly.
Yes, I'm not thinking clearly. But the definition of a lake in regards to the 10,000 lakes is over a certain. It has a definition of square feet.
Well, you're Minnesota cartography nerd standoff.
By the way, next time you say I look at a lot of maps, don't follow it up with for my job. Say I look at a lot of maps, I bury a lot of treasure.
Well, I was going to go, is your job disposing bodies? That's kind of what I was like finding like...
You don't usually like write that down then, Robert, and here's an X on the map of where I
look
put
a
all
lot
the
of
bodies.
maps. I have a terrible sense of direction.
And sorry, yeah.
Easily lost. That's why I live
These are
in
all
state
better
right now.
next sentences to that statement of mine. Thanks, guys.
Well, I think we've beat that dead horse to death.
All the way
but-
through Megakota.
All the way through Megakota. All umpteen thousand.
I think I'm mad about the name. I think Megakota is just a bad name. It's cool now, but think about 5 years from now. Megakota is a bad name.
That's why I want it
5
to
years
technically
from
be
now, we might not
Mecca
even-
Dakota.
You can just call it Dakota.
No, see, that's the whole reason. No,
He has feelings about
that's why
this.
I have strong feelings about this issue because I'm going to write a letter to the editor about it because there are people who are like, well, we just call it Dakota. Fuck that. That's why That's why I added the segment to the podcast. I want my state. I'm dead serious. I want it to sound like my state fights fucking kaiju.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from. Just understand.
What part of giant fighting robots and lizards don't you understand?
I completely understand. I just some of us got laid in high school, so like.
I'm afraid this couch is gonna flip. I'm afraid he's got a button and the couch is gonna flip open and Nate's gonna disappear. He's just like, and
I'm just
he's
gonna
not on
get
the show
ejected
anymore.
out for roasting. I'm so
Yeah.
sorry, Robert. I'm so sorry.
It wasn't me. I didn't say something to prompt that. This is the small satisfaction of the wins.
I'm sorry.
Let's move on to something much more
Not
something.
so much this.
The South Dakota legislature. I'm sure half of them know the lyrics. They're half like all over by the Russian government. So, the South Dakota legislature's in session. Oh boy, how will these old baby boomer types tell us to go to the bathroom this year? I'm super curious to find out.
Well, you know, I'm just
I've
happy
gone
they're back at
another
work.
full year in many bathrooms where no one's seen my vagina.
Nice. That's an gold star for you. Gold star on that.
I have been using the women's restrooms a lot more lately.
The men's are cleaner.
No.
What?
Not
No.
A lot of times
No.
they are.
No.
and I'm only talking about single stalls. I'm not going into the multi.
Oh.
You know.
Yeah, actually, the multi, I could see that being different, but yeah. Or the single, yeah. Anyway, so the first thing I was going to rant about in my bi-weekly rant about the state legislature while they're in session is the citizenship test thing. I'm not totally opposed to this idea that you do citizenship. Here's the deal. Rather than testing that and micromanaging the shit out of our students, here are my 1 a.m. last night thoughts on the topic. So I'm sure these will be very cogent and not at all like a angry screed that you'd see on like Reddit. So instead of micromanaging education, why not fund and support it? If you want to so badly force the students to be patriots, here's an idea. Run a country that's worth being proud of. This chest-beating virtue signaling is so tired. I'm a huge activist for teaching history and civics, so teach those. Teach them the schools they rank, teach them in schools that don't rank at the bottom in the country for teacher pay and for quality. I'm sorry, it's just like, I'm always mad at the federal government for unfunded mandates where they, like, from the top down tell the states they have to do this but don't give them any money to do it. I feel like this is the same thing where South Dakota's like, we give absolutely nothing to education. Screw the teachers, screw the students. Oh, but they're not good enough if they don't pass our very arbitrary test. And it's like, if I thought they actually cared about teaching, it's like, here's an idea. Instead of, we're going to test you and punish you if you don't do this thing, why not fund teaching civics and fund teaching history?
Pay the teachers well enough that they're engaged in
That they actually give a shit.
getting that information out to the students.
Yeah. And,
Well, I mean, if you want to fuel it more from the top down, from the federal, I mean, government, it seems like that wouldn't work in a situation like this because they wouldn't get their money at this time. So, I mean, it seems like that's kind of like unreasonable that somebody could shut that down and then, block giving out the financial aid that's really due to businesses or whatever, should be getting that money. So it's kind of a problem.
I find it interesting that the roaming gnome, Christy, had to pick a fluff topic for diversion so that people don't pay attention to what she really does or doesn't do while she's in office. And she opted to focus on citizenship and implying that our students who are from South Dakota, from the United States, live their whole life here, that they better get up on that test in case they want to quiz somebody that makes it over the wall.
Yeah, that's kind of the implication there, isn't it?
So, but don't you worry. There are people that are watching everything she does.
There are a lot of people watching what she does because the biggest... She's
the biggest disappointment as far as being a South Dakotan and being a woman. As far as what could represent us or our state, she's the biggest disappointment I have ever experienced in my life.
Damn. Okay.
She's a huge disappointment.
Wow, and you lived it in the lifetime of Hillary Clinton, so that's... Well, I guess she's not South Dakotan.
No, but as far as women in politics, women in
but yeah,
a position where they could be a leader and an example for others, she's nothing. She's nothing. She's an embarrassment.
I mean, yeah, when they put on that commercial...
So you're not a fan?
Not a fan.
So not a fan.
Not a fan. Don't get me started on John Thune.
But
don't.
oh, you mean another non-binding resolution or just a strongly worded letter saying "Yay, wall"? Boy, thanks, John.
Not a fan.
Thanks, Mike. Mike crawled out from underneath his desk to sign off on that one too. So
I believe.
Good to know he's still alive because we don't ever see him. But
I believe that if you live this far north, you shouldn't have an opinion on the wall.
That's true.
That's fair.
Except for the wall as in Game of Thrones. That's the only wall you should have an opinion about this far north.
That's the thing. There are a lot of people that they kept thinking that they were talking about giving federal funded to the free water at Wall Drug. There were a lot of people up here that were confused about what wall are they talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that's a joke, but if that wouldn't shock me.
Yeah.
I mean, really, if you've ever,
they have effectively, with this talk of the wall and this government shutdown about the wall, they have effectively built a wall that farmers here in South Dakota won't be able to climb. They have effectively built an economic wall that is going to trap us in all kinds of trouble for our state. That's what the wall has done.
Well, do you know how dependent we are on the tourist industry and how everybody in the Black Hills last year was like, for the love of God, we need some, temporary help and stuff like that. And Pierre just sits on their thumbs and goes, people just don't want to work hard anymore. I don't know. It's like, well, what happened to all the immigrants and people on work visas from Europe even and stuff like that? That came and did those summer jobs like manning a water slide and stuff like that. It's like, oh, that's right. You beat your chest and said, no, we gotta have a wall. So, yeah. It's funny because they spend so much time and money and effort and worry about, we really need workforce development. We need more people. Let's block the immigrants. We need more people. Let's block the immigrants.
And no matter what, they weren't paying a living. A lot of these jobs, if you wanted it to not just be your kid's summer job, if you want it to be a full-time employment for somebody, we're not paying living wages in a lot of positions, even professional positions in Megakota are not paying living wages.
Well, and I saw something today that said that at least 70% of South Dakotans make less than $40,000 a year, which is, pretty bad. And it just goes to show what South Dakota government is putting their energy towards to fucking, have this be a part of the curriculum when there's so many more things that we should be teaching our kids, but we're not. So, that's... just tells.
I don't think
everything.
it's a thing someone should die. You know what I mean? Like, it shouldn't be their last stand. But I don't think it's a bad idea to cover what's in the citizenship test.
Sure, but the timing
I
of
know
it
that
and everything.
I learned it, and
like I said,
and
I'm
took
a
it as
huge
part of my
fan.
AP
Yeah, I was a history major. I'm a huge fan of teaching history and teaching civics. I think it's super important.
Yeah, and I think...
And there are a lot of civics teachers that it's part of their curriculum.
Yeah, but
and that's what I'm
pay
saying, like-
them to do it and give them the tools. Don't say, do it or else. Oh, by the way, there's no money for help.
Right.
That I completely agree with you on that. But, like, as far as the topic, I mean... Like, as far as that goes, like, I don't think that's a bad idea, but I agree. We need to, if we're going to make them take this test and they can't graduate until they do it, you have to cover it. You can't just be like, all right, this is the test, but the people that are moving here, right, or are trying to get citizenship, they have to kind of do it on themselves. They don't really have, like, a class, right? They have classes, but it's...
But here's the thing. So what we're saying is, to graduate high school, you have to take this citizenship as a graduation requirement. Separate of that, it's part of your requirement to pass your civics class anyway, for a lot of people. Having that knowledge, the knowledge of what is on it. Compared to if you were immigrating to this country and want to become a citizen, your motivation for studying is freedom. Your motivation for studying is possibly escaping countries that are in poverty and war and things like that. I feel like saying you need to pass the citizenship test, quote, quote, to graduate high school in a country where by birth that is our privilege, trivializes why people come here and take the test.
Exactly.
Do you think we could, instead of passing the test in high school, do you think we could just marry someone who passed the test in high school?
Or who's like grandfathered
Only if we
in.
film it, and they only get 90 days to plan the wedding.
Yeah.
Discovery Channel.
TLC,
Love that show.
actually.
Oh, TLC. Okay, I'm sorry.
It's recording. It's recording probably right now.
Is this a show or
so
something?
many different
Yeah.
flavors.
Okay.
Oh my god, people
What's
go
it called?
It's
90 Day Wedding or 90 Day...
90 Day Fiance.
90 Day Fiance. And it's all
Yes,
about
there.
the
I
green
read this
card.
article that this dude just watched every episode, and it's a show that he characterized as like, you can't, if you explain it to someone, you can't help but to sound like a bad person.
And then they try and pass a 50 at a Burger King. That.
Monsters. Total monsters.
But no, it's glorious.
No one's pretty on that show, so I don't watch it very much.
Well, I watched the flavor of like 90 Day Fiance Happily Ever After. That was fucking crazy, man.
90 Day Fiancé.
Oh man.
So and in talking about how I personally believe that discussion of citizenship law or whatever, making that part of graduation, and then how building the wall is economically bad for our country, I think that is a good segue into your next topic, because
Probably.
this country was founded on a good cash crop, and it's time for us to have another one.
Right?
Absolutely. We're going to do this one as our last one, and then I'll just briefly mention a few things. But I have to acknowledge this news story because this from the legislature, where they were looking at the most recent farm bill legalized and paved the way for farmers to grow like hemp products, and it lifted the federal CBD ban. Now, South Dakota, their response is SB 22, which literally would criminalize it in the state. So that's like, now that it's legal at the federal level, this is my nightmare for like when they start legalizing weed at the federal level and stuff like that, and all these other things that they use to just mass incarcerate people, is that South Dakota will just sit there and we'll pass our own law that in our state it's still illegal, like, yeah. And I bet the people that pass these laws sound like that too. But so SB 22, the reason I wanted to bring this up specifically is this article. There's so many people who deal with like chronic pain or have a family member who really needs this for chronic pain and to not get addicted to opioids in order to treat that problem. This article in 24 hours got 13,000 views on the SiouxEmpire.com. It's like the biggest one-day post ever on my website. the traffic exploded. My host called me and was like, "Is everything okay, or is there something going on?" And something like 200 comments on this article on the website, just insanely huge for my little news blog. And same with on social media, it just blew up. It got shared like 90 times or something like that, which is just runaway success for my little operation. And I think of, I don't understand where it comes from, where why do they care that much about especially like CBD? Because I'm sitting here thinking about the only people who give a shit about it are people who are like, it stops my kid's seizures. It helps with the fibromyalgia. Former cancer patient with chronic pain. Stuff like that.
Why does the South Dakota Senate and Congress, why do they care about any of the shit that they care about recently? Because they don't care about things that matter recently. So This is just par for the course. And they are so asininely backwards in everything that, they are trimming down the type of people that want to stay here or come here, and that's fine.
Because I'm
not going to stick around for this bullshit,
they're cozied up in Pier under the rotunda and need something to talk about.
There's nothing cozy in Pier.
Yeah, I was going to say.
While they're there,
that's probably why they're all pricks.
At the same time, they don't want to have to open their eyes to things like, hey,
not all
Minnehaha County is doing their homeless count. Well, it's 10 below, freezing. They don't want to look at the issues that really, really, really need to be dealt with and need to be helped. And so they need an inflammatory diversionary tactic. And
I've heard about
reefer madness.
About transients or homeless people dying in Sioux Falls, but I don't really hear about what the Sioux City is going to do necessarily about that. It seems like there's been one in the last 2 years that have died just because they've been didn't have a place to go, and then didn't have the transportation probably to get to a place that could have taken them, which is a problem in Sioux Falls. So, but they don't look at a lot of stuff that's
so they
actually relevant.
They need inflammatory diversionary tactics and topics.
They're crazy, man. They don't do anything that makes sense to me.
But yeah, I
just... where I've never had a hair in my pizza?
Boss's Pizza. Sioux Falls, multiple locations.
And actually, I want to give a plug because you guys have done dinners and which holiday? Do you do a Thanksgiving thing?
Yes. I want to just clarify. I am not involved with Boss's Pizza and Chicken. I don't work there. I'm not.
But he eats there.
I'm a champion of Boss's Pizza and Chicken. I'm the co-owner of Boss's Comedy Club. So all these awesome things that you're talking about is my co-owner, Jeremy Seafelt, who's one of the fairest, nicest men I've ever known. And every Thanksgiving, I think this year they did 47 turkeys. He bought and fried and broasted 47 turkeys and gave away and literally fed anybody who wanted to be there.
Open the doors.
For free.
So why aren't we electing guys like that?
Because they don't want to do it because
they're busy taking care of people.
He's got a business.
He's got
real life.
Exactly. He's got real problems and real solutions.
Busy fixing things instead of
sitting on his ass and not fixing things.
Everything he when I was working for him, we had this catering order that got it wasn't canceled or anything, but we overmade a bunch of food. So I ran down to I took 40 pizzas and I just went down to the place across the street from Frinton on 8th.
The Mission?
The Mission. Yeah, I just went down. I went down there and I just dropped off pizzas during their dinner time. No, it wasn't even extra food. He just said, hey, make 40 pizzas.
Yeah.
And they're like, what? And he's like, yeah, just bring it down. And it might not be 40, but... Hey, if you're using $40 bills, making 40 pieces. Yeah, exactly.
40, man. 40, that's the ticket.
So every time someone complains about it being expensive, well, that's why.
So let's talk a little bit about Boss's Comedy Club as we move into our page 2 interview section.
Yeah.
So here we are, page 2, with this Nathan Hults. So nice to meet you, Nathan.
Nice to meet you.
So funny he makes me spit.
Yes, so funny gets Jenny to do a spit take. So, let's talk a little bit about, what do you want to jump into first? Do you want to talk about Boss's Comedy Club? Do you want to talk about your upcoming event, which we are going to obviously be talking about a lot here, but
Yeah.
I'll let you drive a little bit.
So, Boss's Comedy Club started last October. We want to tell everybody about it, because it's the first comedy club that really features locals. And that's been kind of a pretty big thing. Every show has a local on it. We're the only club that's doing local showcases that I'm aware of. I've been around for 10 years, and we'd do open mics and stuff like that, but like a Friday night, give it to the locals. So I'm being a local comedian, I think that's pretty cool. But we're a small little club, 50 seats. Everything we get through the door, that goes to the comedian, pretty much. We try to just put on a great show. You're never going to hear of the person. Like, you're never going to see Brian Regan or, Kyle Kinane. You're never going to see the big names at my club, but I guarantee they'll be funny. That's my guarantee, is you might not know them, but they will be funny.
Yeah, every time I've been there, it's been a great time. I never regret going. It's like, I wish I went more often, but yeah.
And it's an inexpensive date.
Yeah, it is.
The highest our tickets have been so far is $20. And that was for Kostaki Commonopolis.
Yeah, because, it is great that you showcase the locals and things like that, but you also are bringing people to our city, bringing entertainment to our city, and still at a reasonable price.
Yeah.
And centrally located, and it's not like run way out to the west side or run way out to the east side. Meet your friends in the middle.
And there's parking.
Yeah, it's
super nice. And for comedy clubs can often be an issue.
Yeah, absolutely. I would have loved to have a downtown comedy club, but where do you park?
Yeah.
No, it's been a lot of fun doing it. I never thought I'd own a comedy club. But again, Jeremy Seafelt has been very, very, very kind. A lot of people ask how we got started. We started doing open mics there after rookies stopped doing comedy. And so we just kept doing there for a while. And after a year or so, Wacko's opened up. And then the day Wacko's closed, I texted Jeremy at 3:30 in the morning.
Is that normal time for you to be texting people?
I was a little drunk.
Okay. Alcohol may have been involved.
Maybe. I was a little hurt by Wacko's closing, and I texted him at 3:30 in the morning. Do you want to open a comedy club? And about 40 seconds later, he goes, "Yeah." And I was kind of joking.
And then you felt really, and you're like, "Oh shit, gotta make a plan."
So here we go. And so we remodeled the room we're in, and tried to put in my heart and soul into it. It's the club I would want, and it's getting really close there. Robert's been very, very good on giving me advice on how to do video integration and recording and stuff. So
yeah, and I need to get there and help you a little bit more.
But you've done plenty and more than you needed to. But Wednesday nights, every Wednesday night is kind of our big thing right now. That's our big push. We want to get people into the club, see how much fun it is. So what we're doing is $8 all you can drink beer on Wednesday nights from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m.
Can I get all you can drink, like Coke?
Yeah, you can always get that.
Is it a Pepsi place?
It is a Pepsi place.
Okay.
But they have Dr. Pepper.
That's alright.
For the girls like me.
They also... Yeah.
You guys got Sierra Mist? No.
We do. I'm also
Is Pepsi
a
okay?
Coke man.
No, I didn't fucking ask for a Pepsi.
I don't drink, so I didn't ask for a beer, that's for sure.
Yeah, I don't drink beer either.
But hey, a lot of people do.
A lot of people do.
True.
And it's a lot harder. It's harder to get your friends to come, hey, do you want to watch me do 5 minutes of comedy than other people do 5 minutes of comedy? Or, hey, do you want all you can drink beer for $8? by the way, I will be doing some comedy. So,
which makes it's just like,
You know,
I'll be
though-
inebriated and watching you do comedy? Fuck yeah.
yeah. But I believe our locals are some of the best. I mean, we have one of the coolest, supportive, and funny scenes I've ever been a part of. I've only been a part of the scene, but I've gone to other places.
That's how good it is. You didn't need to go find another one.
I didn't need to find another one. I found a home in this one. And so...
I've always been impressed with the heart in this one, where it's just like, you know, the people that the regulars that are like the locals that go all the time. It's just like they're so passionate about it and treating it as a craft and loving what they're doing it, and you know, obviously doing it just purely for the love of it. So it's just like, it's really cool. It really has moved me as somebody who's like moved around a bit and seen a few different cities and stuff like that. It I don't know. There's something about the Sioux Falls comedy scene. It's really clicked with me. I really like it.
I will say this too, though, for a lot of venues have come and gone in Sioux Falls for a lot of different reasons. It only within 1 year I've been to more than one sold out show.
Yeah.
Like that's what's really and
You've been to both of them. So
and
that was,
somebody and some people might say, well, it's only 50 seats. How hard is it to sell out?
Sioux Falls for a live event? Yeah.
For a live event that you're going to pay. Like, people don't like to pay for things in this town. But there is that last one that I was at, I was glad I went in and sat down while Clint got the drinks, because otherwise I wouldn't have had a chair.
Yeah.
And I would have just sat on Graham's lap or something. I would have just crawled up there and been like, I'm going to nest right here, buddy.
that was a really cool thing. And we had a local showcase sell out, which is...
And that was a room where I only knew like 6 other people in the room besides the comics.
Yeah.
Like, that was people not from the family.
Yeah.
The comic family.
Yeah, it was pretty neat. And then the following week we also had a sellout show for a touring comic. And
nice.
It's been really cool. I have been waiting to perform at the comedy club. I'm a comedian. I've been doing it for 10 years. I love it. I've told I'm pretty good. I was recently a finalist in the San Diego Comedy Festival.
Ooh.
Yeah, out of 200 people. So top 5 out of 200. Which is, I mean, you don't have to do an applause.
Not a big
track,
deal or anything.
But if you've got an applause button,
if you've got a button on that Elgato,
it's gonna go wah wah.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's a South Dakota soundboard.
Yeah.
I only have so much power.
That's the best audience for sure. They're very captive. They don't laugh because they're chewing.
Because the food from the establishment next door is so good.
Speaking of which, Bosses, I just learned, might be doing cauliflower crust.
What?
Oh yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. Might go back on keto. Let's get to the reason I'm here. I am headlining the comedy club for the first time at Bosses, so I'm very excited about that. I wasn't gonna do it for a while here because it just feels weird to be like, book yourself at your own place. But
I would have.
A lot of people tell me you're crazy for feeling that way. But the owner was like, hey, we're going to shut it down unless you perform. So no more comedy club or you do it. So we're finally doing it. And we're making it kind of special. Every show is going to be different. I have different opening acts each night. Some surprise guests, hopefully. I've put out some...
That's what makes them a surprise.
Yeah.
Will they show up?
I don't know. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I hope to see a lot of people out there. I haven't performed in this capacity in Sioux Falls, like a long set, since...
Since you killed that man?
I think it was like the first 4 months at Wacko's, so it's been 3 years, almost.
Wow.
So yeah, but I've been touring around and doing plenty, so it's gonna be a lot of fun. Kind of get rid of all my old material, get ready for an album recording. So
nice.
Yeah.
You're not gonna get rid of the lake joke, are you? I really like that one. I sometimes laugh. Well, and I should let you guys in on what.
Don't let her stifle your process, man.
No, that was at Fernson, is where I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't remember was that the Puerto Rico fundraiser night?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
We were raising funds.
You're all about Puerto Rico.
Well, it was right after the
I
hurricane.
believe Puerto Rico should be a state. I don't know. I watched the John Oliver segment, so I'm real
Well, that's
really off on
compelling stuff.
But he's got a really good piece of his set about life in Minnesota, growing up in the lakes and summers of Minnesota, and it's the presentation.
A Minnesota comedian with a segment all about growing up in Minnesota and how it's quirky and different from where you grew up?
Well, hold
Wait.
on. I'm a South Dakota comedian.
Okay.
I've started comedy in South Dakota and
Okay.
have not moved since I started comedy. But I'm a Minnesotan by birth.
By genetics or whatever. Yeah. But it was the presentation of that, and I had not heard that joke of his prior to that, and I've seen a lot of his performances. And still, I will occasionally have, if I hear the word Minnetonka, and I live with a Minnesotan, so occasionally I hear Minnesota words. If I hear the word Minnetonka, right? That's the right lake.
Yeah, Minnetonka Lake.
I have no control over my body. I burst out laughing. People around me don't know why. And then
It would be doing the bit on audio wouldn't do it any justice.
no,
You
it's
gotta
the
come see it.
presentation.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's the eye contact, which again almost drowned me earlier in the show.
Eye contact is very important.
Blue balls joke. Joke blue balls, but okay, guys.
Joke blue balls.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Let's see. So you've told us...
You have to go to the show.
Yeah, you gotta come to the show.
Easy, back off me. Jeez, man. That I was talking here, we were talking. You're just tantalizing me with this fucking tale of magical Minnesotan wonder, and alright, that's alright. Joke blue balls, that's all. Alright, I'll just go watch some comedy stuff later, and then...
By yourself.
Yeah.
On January 25th. Show at 8, doors
is that
open at
And
7.
26th.
25th, 26th, that's your headlining?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
At
It's,
Boss's.
What days are those of the week?
Two-night
Friday and Saturday.
extravaganza.
Friday and Saturday. It's gonna be.
You work the evenings, don't you?
Yeah.
Shit.
I go in at 9 and then 8 on Friday. Or 8 on Friday, 7 on Saturday.
So when we're off the air, he'll tell you the joke. How about that,
Yeah,
since you can't be there?
I can get. I might have a video somewhere.
You're here!
No, it's
Nah,
you got.
it's better. It's,
You need a brick wall behind?
no. It's
No, there's a whole lot to
There's
it. It's
there's
so
a-
good.
It sounds like the most elaborate joke ever.
It's not a knock joke. It's not a knock.
No, it's
knock knock.
again, as somebody who's watched, I've seen you perform all the way back to when we were all underground downtown.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of it.
Fat Daddy.
Fat Daddies.
Which I was banned from, by the way.
Ooh.
How'd
that happen?
I was working as the cook at Lucky's during Fat Daddy's, and there was the tsunami right in Japan, and somebody asked me, "Hey, do you want to do a benefit for the Red Cross to help with tsunami relief?" Yes, that is what you would do, right?
Yeah.
If there's millions of people dying, you can raise some money just by telling dick jokes? Yeah, absolutely, I want to help. And so I go to do the show, and then she goes, apparently the owner of Fat Daddy's is like, if you work with this one person, who's the guy who asked me, you can't work in this club ever again. And I'm like, okay, but I have to deliver food?
So I'll just leave it outside the door, push it in like in prison.
Yeah. So I did a show at the Holiday Inn for 7 people on a Monday, not competing, and I was banned from the club. So
Wow. Okay.
Crazy.
yeah,
But watching, so all the way back from 7 people shows to now, the Minnetonka Lake joke that night at Ferns, and that's an example of how a local comedian who went from the open mics and the local community to branching out to traveling and then come back and developing, like you said, the craft, the performance part of it. It's no longer just standing there holding a mic and telling the jokes. It's performance art now. And so Nate Nate is an example of why everybody should be going to all their open mics and all their local showcases, because that's the support they need for everybody to develop that. So, but yeah, Nate's the real deal now. Like I would say.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's very kind.
The Jenny Mac seal of approval.
Yes, I don't like anybody, so if I say something nice.
Oh, this is true. This is true. She's
I'm
pretty brutal.
Looking at you, Governor.
That's true. She'll take governors down, so she's just saying she doesn't hold back. But
you had a question.
I mean, I looked like I did, but then I reconsidered.
Okay.
I was going to ask what time is, like, if I could cash you on stage on Wednesdays to tell that whole ball slap in water joke.
I generally don't do that on
Mondays? Do you still do Mondays for 7 people?
No. I learned my lesson. I got banned from a comedy club. So.
I never work on Mondays. No, I got banned.
Yeah, I got banned from the comedy club.
But I know Northfield those Mondays.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, I'll get it. You'll hear it. Don't worry. I just don't want to. I feel like it's teasing this joke. It's a good joke.
It's a fantastic joke.
No, seriously, I'm loving this because it's hilarious. Because I listen to a bunch of comedians, and I know that one thing that Jerry Seinfeld hates more than anything is when somebody introduces him as the greatest comedian in the world.
Yeah.
Because it just is like, fuck you.
Yeah.
I can't. Now every second has to be gold.
Yeah.
That's not my style, ass. But
Yeah.
anyway,
it's like Ariana saying Pete's dick is too big and now he's afraid he'll never.
Oh, for sure. I feel, I get it.
It's anytime it's like the best comedian, blah, it's like
Oh, you're not the best comedian.
No, I know.
But you got one good joke about your balls.
I have a good joke about lakes.
That's going in the obit.
It's a weird time to be alive. That's what I'm saying.
That's right, man. So what's the cross streets of where that's at?
It's on.
Can you tell me?
It's on Minnesota and 24th.
Okay, I know the place. All right.
Yeah, Minnesota Avenue. It's in Boss's Pizza and Chicken.
Yep.
And it's Boss's Comedy Club. If you do me a favor, follow Boss's Comedy Club on Facebook and on Twitter. That's really going to help us try to get out. We're working on getting the website kind of ready to go. We've been open 1.5 years, so finally, and we're getting the calendar kind of built and stuff like that. But we're trying to make comedy viable in Sioux Falls again. So
nice.
I think you've done that. I don't think you have to say it again. I think that it is viable in Sioux Falls.
Absolutely.
It absolutely is.
We're hoping to get the improv groups involved here too. I have a small stage, so it's hard to do improv on it, but I think that would be a lot of fun as well. So if I'm virtual signaling,
there you go.
If the improv groups want to reach out, we'd love to maybe do something. So, also Skylar Bulks, who is a very good comedian in Sioux Falls.
Yep,
he has a great joke about Scott Hoy.
He does have a regular here on the podcast.
He is doing a thing called Theme Thursdays, and this is my new favorite thing at the club. Besides my shows on the 25th and 26th of January at 8 p.m., only $15.
Good job.
We're doing a $5 night on Thursday, so tickets are $5. He's bringing in a theme show from out of town, so a show like that involves stand-up and comedy, but they do it differently. So like. You might remember the Benson Interruption would be considered a theme show, or like debate shows and stuff like that. And Thursday, February
This is great radio.
7th, February 7th. We have You Had to Be There, which is the most fun, crazy show I've ever been a part of. It was the festival favorite for the Sioux Falls Snow Jam Comedy Festival, which is also coming up. That raises money for the Special Olympics. which I'm also involved
Sponsor of this episode.
in. Sponsor of this episode. Very cool. I should have known that because I'm one of the co-creators. But You Had to Be There has been a festival favorite for a long time. We're not doing it at the festival this year, but it's chat roulette with comedians. So the comedians chat roulette with all of the internet.
I'm a very
With their
hip,
pants
cool
off?
young person, so I know what chat roulette is, but maybe if you could explain it to some of our old fogey listeners
I know, we're
what
like-
chat roulette is.
Chat roulette is Skype, but you're paired randomly.
And your pants are off.
Right, that's what I'm like.
There will be dicks. Yes. Yes, there will be.
Hey, are
That's
there
like
gonna
the
be vaginas?
subtitle.
Well,
There will
so
be
last
dicks.
year.
Less common, but maybe.
So I don't want to get too graphic, but last year during the festival, there was the internet went out during the show,
and
So
everyone
they had to
died.
draw pictures.
and so they were working it when we got the internet back. The first one was this woman aggressively fingering herself.
What do you mean the first one? What first one? The first webpage?
No,
That means
the first chat roulette, because you get paired
Sorry,
with a
man.
random person.
Oh, man.
You get paired with a
Just
random
kick
person.
in. Oh, my God. Now
then-
I get it.
And so she's just aggressively fingering herself, and
I'm just over here going, how do you determine what's an aggressive fingering?
as a person that's done minimal to a lot of research on the internet, it was more aggressive than I'm used to. Not the most aggressive,
Because it might have just been mild to moderate from her definition.
sure, absolutely, but
But maybe aggressive for
It
the
was-
event.
Hey, different strokes for different folks.
it was very wrong to have it in front of a group of people. It was aggressive for how many people were
21 and
watching.
older or 18 and older event.
This is an 18
Children
and older.
were there. No.
Okay.
18 and older. But
It was for the Boy Scout
for
troop.
the most part, Boss's Comedy Club is not an 18 plus event.
Okay.
Boss's Comedy Club is all
there
ages.
alcohol?
Is all ages, but it's a restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
So all ages are welcome. We suggest at least 14 to 15.
As a parent, I'm not the only parent in the room.
Oh yeah, I'm a daddy. now.
Yeah, you're a daddy.
Aww.
But as a parent and everybody who's been to my shows and a variety of shows that I've been in, my daughter is part of the scene in her own way. You just have to be cognizant of what you're going to.
Yeah.
Make adult choices. Make good choices.
Yeah.
Don't bring your kids.
If
It's okay to have your baby in a bar until you're in one of those moments where everybody else is going, there's a baby in the bar. Like, be cognizant of your surroundings.
Then you just use the space between it and the car seat to hold your beer. That's probably like...
Yeah, that's not a cup holder, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it kind of is. It's a really handy couple or something. No, never mind.
Robert doesn't have children. What is he doing with a baby and a car seat and a drink?
I'm not allowed to talk about that story. Court order. Those records were sealed. They promised me. No. But yeah, moving on for that creepiness. So
Looking at you,
one
Governor.
final important question before we go into shameless
Yeah.
plugs. So you represent Boss's Comedy Club.
Yes.
So I have to ask, who's the boss?
He'll never hear this, but me. No, Jeremy's the boss. Jeremy's.
I'm sorry, the correct answer is clearly Mona. Thank you for playing.
The Sioux Empire Podcast proudly presents this week's Shameless Plugs.
Nathan, this is the part of the show where you get to get on your soapbox. I've kind of been doing that a little bit already.
Sure.
But go through and run down upcoming events, promote your event, like where it is, when it is, different social media people should follow you on, etc., etc.
Sure.
This is that time.
Follow me. I have a comedian page, Nathan Hults Comedy, on Facebook, and then Nathan Hults on Twitter. I'm on Instagram, but don't follow me there. It's a weird. Anyway, come support live comedy. If you come to Boss, awesome. That's where I'm going to be. If you go, but Circle K Book Co-op is doing an open mic every last Thursday of the month. Wood Grain is doing every other Tuesday. Those are awesome places to also show up. If the people are doing comedy, you just go. We get stuck staying at home, and I want people to go. There's really great shows like the You Had to Be There coming up. There's Trevor Anderson, who's a personal friend of mine. Kevin Bozeman reached out to us. He wants to do a club. There's no reason he should do My Small of a Club. He was like a finalist on Last Comic Standing. He's been on Comedy Central. He's done all these things. That's April 6th. That is going to be a banger. He just came out with an album, and it's really good. So check him out. Buy tickets for that. Make sure he wants to come back here. And come see my show, 25th and 26th. I would really like to see everybody there. I haven't done something like this in a long time, and I'm really excited to show Sioux Falls what I've got. So
awesome. Jenny, do you have any shameless plugs you'd like to throw in while you're here?
Yeah, my shameless plug. Derek Gerlach's story. You guys have probably heard young Derek Gerlach. I'll cover it.
Thank you. I forgot about that.
Young Derek of Del Rapids. He's one of my personal heroes. He is just came back from several weeks at the Mayo post-surgery and treatment for a brain tumor. You might know Derek because his sidekick, Shane Gerlach, his dad, is a big part of SuperCon. So there are several events coming up that are fundraisers to directly help the Gerlach family with the cost of living and living well while fighting cancer. So one of them conflicts with Nate's event, and on January 25th I'll be up in Flandreau for Plain Speaking People, which find that on the internet. There are 6 or 7 of us that are speakers. We each tell a 10-minute story that evokes life in the Dakotas, kind of. I don't yet know what I'm going to talk about, but hey, I'll come up with something. And then on February 9th at Boss's Comedy, there is
a fundraiser.
Kind of a multi-level fundraiser, local comedy showcase I'm going to help host. I know Zach Dresch and Dan Buglitz. And I know
those guys.
And the Basement Dwellers.
The Basement Dwellers Improv, which when you said you don't think you have a big enough stage for improv, I think that you definitely have a great setup for improv. So my show husband Dave and the Basement Dwellers will be performing. And the funds raised for that will go directly to Derek and his family. And, kind of just, I think it'll be good. They just had a fundraiser in Del Rapids that was a meat raffle. Good Lord.
I love a meat raffle.
Oh, I had never been to a meat raffle. I've been to a sausage fest or two, but a meat raffle is something totally different. And just seeing Shane be able to get out, and we're still doing good for his kid, but he was able to really just have fun. It's really hard to have fun when you have this much stuff on your mind. And so I'm really excited to be part of the February 9th event at Boss's Comedy because we're going to do good and have fun.
Yeah.
So.
I'm glad you covered it. I would have felt like a total dick if I forgot.
Well, and I will say, I love Shane. I love Danelle. I love Derek. But Lord, if their kid didn't have cancer, I would not have been a raffle ticket girl at a meat raffle. That was insane. That was insane. But this event is, I think, going to be pretty good. I'll be able to handle it. So.
Quick question, what's meat raffle?
So, okay, here's the meat raffle. They have a wheel with numbers on it, and they have bundles of meat.
Okay, alright, okay.
And everybody, you sell tickets, and whoever gets the last ticket gets to spin the wheel, and whoever's number gets pulled gets to pick a bundle of meat.
I wasn't sure how family-friendly the event was, so...
There were babies in the bar that night. There were children in the bar.
But no one was saying there are babies in the bar.
And there was also Shane yelling. Every time they would go to spin the wheel, he would yell, "Go meat!" And so he got to do that 15 times while drinking. And I think that was really a good stress reliever for him.
I think that should be mandatory, sort of yelling at a meat raffle.
Somehow I think you should turn your Wednesday night $8 beer thing into a wheel raffle. I just like spinning the wheel and yelling numbers. Like people
you were just saying you can't handle a meat raffle, and you're just like, you need a giant spinning wheel every Wednesday night.
Well, yeah, I mean, like people. It was the people like fighting over tickets for meat. I'm like, come on.
Jesus Christ.
It's
the most South Dakota thing you've ever heard.
I didn't, I was really scared for a little bit, and I don't scare easily. So, but I did enjoy the Van White spin the wheel game show aspect of it. So
cool.
So maybe like I can yell out, "Go beer!" and spin the wheel, and that's how people know it's time to get a refill.
We should be taking breaks in the open mic so everyone can just go up, because we got to start finishing these kegs, otherwise they're gonna go bad. Oh man.
Seth, you got a shameless
First
plug?
off, ditto, because following that really,
you feel bad now that you're gonna plug a Netflix show or something? Okay.
Yeah, I had nothing anyway, but no, not really, because also Boston's Comedy Club and Nate go there January 25th and 26th, right? Yeah, 25th, 26th. All right. 8 p.m. Wait.
Doors open at 7.
And doors open at 7. That's what I'm saying. So be there at 7.
And there might be some early entertainment during my shows.
There's surprises. There's lots of surprises I hear at Boston's Comedy Club. And that's, that's comedy. You don't want to... I saw that punchline, so that was bad comedy, but yeah. No surprises. Hey, Rob, what do you got for shameless plugs? Play it. You deserve it. Dude, that's twice now, not me. Usually there's at least 2 or 3 with me prompting it.
I earned that one.
Shameless plug to me on that.
So, my shameless plug this week is just a big thank you to everyone coming out here today. It was not fun given our vibrant South Dakota weather going on right now. Also, big shout out to Shane and to Derek and everything that they're dealing with and stuff. Please support those awesome fundraisers. Been sharing them like crazy on social media.
Hashtag Fight Derek Fight.
Yep. And Sioux Empire Podcast Network news. I am working on Edge Case. We are getting down to the wire on story submissions, but I'm still taking them because tentatively I have proofed and adapted 9 scripts. We've got 9 episodes scripted, and by the time it's all said and done, I think we're going to be looking at around 14 episodes if everyone that said they were going to send stories sends stories, plus the 2 that I want to complete yet. And then, I will probably start casting. I keep saying this, but in the next 2 weeks, but seriously, by the end of February, I will be at least casting for narrator and a few of the first early parts that are like interchangeable in some of the first episodes. So stay tuned for casting announcements and auditions and stuff like that for voice actors for Edge Case, because that is coming. And then just a big thank you to everyone for listening to the Sioux Empire Podcast. If you like what we do here at the Sioux Empire Podcast, be sure to support us over on the old Patreon. You can do that at patreon.com/Sioux Falls. And thank you again for listening. And everyone, thanks for coming, and we'll see you all next week.
See you on Game Time.